Hi. Well, I'm hoping that today's going to be the final build of the engine. I'm going to start building it up. I've not got much to do now actually, to be quite honest, but what I'll do is I'll go back a wee bit and show you how I tried to fix this cylinder head on it. So I'll give you a couple of wee quick segments and then we'll move to now where I'm putting the valve cover on, getting the thing fired up, and fingers crossed that she's going to go fine. So I welded my cover, which I've shown you before. Not 100% with it, so I've got another one coming. So I need to weld this to make this straight, because it's a wee bit, if you have a look at it, you know, there's a gap there and the rocker cover sits over this gap with the gasket, and because this has been pushed in or it's been chipped out, it's the gasket's not going to seal, so I need to build this up with alloy weld. So to do that I've got to take this cam chain guide out, and to get it out I need to take this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the timing up, the ignition timing, the valve timing, and then once it's all set, then I can take this wheel off, work away with that, weld it, and then put it back on, and you know, the timing should be okay, fingers crossed. So I'm taking out the spark plugs. Number 1 came out no problem. Number 2 was actually slack. I mean, it was finger tight, that was about it. Number 3 is tight in the hole. And don't know if you can see or no, but they're iridium plugs. And I don't know how many Ks they've done. It seems to be an awfully big gap and a wee bit wear, so I maybe have to replace them. You're always better, I think, when you're in here doing this sort of stuff. You know, if you're taking plugs, you just replace them.
You painting this little plastic bit above the caliper?
Painting the wee what bit?
Plastic bit above the caliper.
Doing a bit of sanding for us.
Well, that was, I wasn't going to paint it, but we could.
It needs painting now, doesn't it?
We could, yeah.
Right. Does that come off easy? Is it just that screw?
I don't know. I'm not really sure, eh?
Feels like there's something up here.
So the what Mike's doing is the front mudguard's needing done. It had scrapes on it. So Mike's rubbing it down.
Sand it back.
Yeah, till it's smooth, and then give it some paint.
Yeah, bit of undercoat, bit of spray.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
And then a wee
Doesn't
bit.
need undercoat.
Yeah. Then a wee bit wet and dry after that to smooth it off, to get the orange peel out of it, and yeah, a good buff up, and it should come up like new, and then we'll get the rest of the scooter buffed up.
Don't know if it'll come up like new, we'll see.
Well, yeah.
Mate.
And then once all that's done, we'll get a thing in for a roadworthy, get a roadworthy certificate, and then put it up for sale. Or I might just put it in my name and put 6 months reg on it, and then sell it, transfer it over.
Yeah, why not? It's a bit of fun.
Yeah. So if anybody wants a scooter.
Alright, well, I'll give that a rub back as well.
Right.
Get some paint on it.
Yeah, I'll get on with this.
Easy, mate.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's tight. But I'm just hoping this will unscrew enough without dropping this. Although if it drops down the engine, it'll no matter, because that's just by the timing chain. I can get that out. So because the piston's in the right space, I'm not bothered if anything moves and the chain slips, because I'll reset the timing up. I did think about getting a new timing chain and guides and everything for it, but I think it's alright. There we go. Oh, come out. I'll just leave that sitting in there like that. Yeah, all that, just to get that tensioner out. Let's just check it, see what it's like. Cloth over there. Usually you know when they're worn, when you can see the chain marks. You can see the chain marks, but it's not that bad. There's still a lot of wear left in that. Apart from where I grabbed it with the pliers, but that's fine. So I'm going to buff it a wee bit more with the Dremel. And then so that the face where I weld it, it's going to mate onto it. Maybe. So I've got a nice wee end for my Dremel, and I can buff it away. So I'm trying to weld this up. I was using the gas and the gas is no good. So I've got my MIG welder. So what I'm doing is I'm welding this bit in here. And it looks a bit rough, but that doesn't matter. I need to build it up with plenty weld, alloy weld, and then I can get my small Dremel and bring it back down again. And when I've finished, if there's any cracks, I can give it a wee bit more weld to fill it and then buff it down. So I'll add a wee bit more before I start sanding it down. You looking away?
I'm looking away.
Woo-wee. You certainly can't rush it anyway. Whew. It's no good for the eyeballs. So it is coming on, as you can see it's building up. So I can give it a bit of rub with the wire brush. Look at that. That's almost perfect. Almost perfect. You would never know it had a chip out it. Yeah. So I'm going to work away on that. Just a wee bit more onto it. I'll get my Dremel out, give it a smooth off, try and just make sure the whole thing's sort of level. And then it'll be time to fit the rocker cover again. Anyway, I'll go and do that. I'll go and do a wee bit more and I'll get back to you. Well, another day. Right, so I've welded this. And what I've done is I've taken my big brother's advice. I welded it and built it up as best I could, but it was very pitted. So what I've done is I've put a coating of JB weld on just to fill it. I've put a skim over it, skim over the front, and it's just to fill where the weld is so as it fills any wee pit holes. And that should do it, because that stuff goes as hard as steel anyway. So I've just put all that on. I'm just going to leave that to set, and then I'll get my file and I'll file it, get it smoothed off, And then the rocker cover, as you know, I was welding the old one up, but I got this one in a deal, so here it is. It was silver, so I've painted it up, heat-proof paint, heat-resistant paint, so that looks good, and I'll get this on hopefully tomorrow. I've got a gasket ordered, but this one's like new, so I'll maybe just stick this on, and just to be on the safe side, I might stick a wee bit, just a smeary sealant just here in case there's any bits that's not 100%, but I think it'll be alright. I had to do the timing because I had to take the what do you call it, the chain guide out, you know, while I was welding it because of the heat. So I put it back in, of course it had slipped all the teeth, so I've done it. So as you can see, the timing marks are lined up. There's one in there and one in there, and it's lined up to the T on there. So, and I've rotated it a few times. I've thrown the old plugs out, put a new set of spark plugs in. So once I get her running, once I get her warmed up, I'll drop the oil out, put a new filter in. I'll need to get the radiator back on and coolant filled up. I found the reservoir down here, it was black, you couldn't even tell if there was anything in it, so that's all been cleaned up. That's it for the moment anyway. So I'm going to get a rocker cover gasket on, but I'm going to take the two top engine mounts off and see if the engine will just rock. Just needs to go an inch, just enough to get the rocker cover on without disrupting anything major. I'm sure it'll move a wee bit. Taking that bolt out, I'll just try the other side. And there's two bolts here. So I've put a wee jack just under the engine there. It's to steady it while I take these bolts out. Yeah, I done a dry run with it and it's really tricky to get on. That's why I slackened off the mounting bolts, but I think she'll be okay now. Just make sure everything's stuck in place. This is a bit of heat. Just takes one mess up with this gasket and you're stuffed. Well, so far so good. Yeah, now I've just got to go and tighten all these up and then start building it up and we can try it out. But it seems to be making quite well on that. I think it should seal up no problem. Anyway, I'll go ahead and tighten all these. I'm just putting the bike back together. So as you can see, the plugs and everything's on. I've got all the mounting bolts back on. Got this rubber flap in the battery box in. I'm just putting the air filter box on. So it's a bugger to put on, it's kind of tight. So what I've done is I've slackened all the screws off. And what I'll do is I'll just put a wee bit multi-purpose grease just so as these rubbers slide into place. Won't do the bike any harm. So it sometimes can be a pain in the arse putting things like this on. We've got 3 pipes that go up here. Oh, I've only got 2, fancy that. Wonder what the third one is. That'll be it. 3 pipes, right. So this wire right, so this should poke on. I'll just put it in place just now. And put this in. And I think it goes this way. Fucker, fingers. So here's a wee trick for you, dirty air filter. Okay, what you want to use is something like a brake cleaner, which is like it evaporates quickly. so your filter dries out quickly. So just give it a good, I don't know if you can see that, the dirt. Get a dirty red oil from the filter. And then when you go to oil it, you know, K&N, use K&N oil just a bit down each edge and leave it for half an hour, you know, to saturate, and then wipe it with a cloth to get any excess off. You can actually use a 20 or 30 weight oil. It doesn't have to be K&N. K&N's nice because it's a nice reddy colour. It makes your filter look lovely. See how the material goes white when you take the K&N oil off. But that's what I do. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. So I'll go and get that done. So there she is running. Okay, so I got it all put back together, got the radiator on, put the card on it. Radiator's still a bit buckled and bent, but it works. It's not leaking. So I'm just letting her heat up to running temperature. That's where the chip was, right up here. And so far, dry as a bone. I might need to put a bit. Oh no, that's alright. I thought it was leaking there, but I don't think it is. The exhaust doing a bit smoking. $99. That's the fan on. Yeah, fan is running. Beautiful. So it gets up to about 98 and it comes on. Wow. Unbelievable. Temperature's going down now. 92, it's cooling down quite quick. And the fans went off. So yeah, it must work in that 90, 95 to 100 range. I'll need to check up and see what it is. But the main thing is the oil leak. And that seems to be nothing. Absolutely nothing coming out of that. Whew. So I might as well change oil in this now, seeing as it's nice and hot. So I've taken the cap off. So I'll just slowly let this plug out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right over my leg. So this oil doesn't look too bad. I think whoever's had this bike's really looked after it. You know, I've never gotten an old bike like this, and yeah, definitely needing an oil change anyway. So that's a good thing. So I'll just use my strap. And this is a good one. You just probably one of the easiest oil filter removers you can get is a strap. But we'll get that off. Ooh. So yeah, whoever's had this bike's kind of looked after it. Checked the brake pads and everything, and they're like new. So yeah, used a genuine Yamaha oil filter. So what we've got, and it's replaced, is a K&N. I like the K&N, some people like them, others don't. And get the plastic off. A wee bit oil out of there. And the ring. Always remember, put a wee bit of oil on your ring before you stick it on. And I'll give that a wee clean up there. Yeah, like new. Now the good thing about the K&N is it has a nut in the back. So when you're putting the filter on, it's so much easier. Like that. And I always say, put them on hand tight and no more. So hand tight. So I'll just see I'm holding in the middle. There, that's tight enough. Don't grab the end or you'll ratchet up too much. That's enough. I'll let that dribble for a minute and then I'll get the plug in and I'll top it up with oil again. I'll have a Pepsi while it's doing that. Now I'm going to show you something here. If your bike comes with a copper washer gasket, get your washer, give it a bit clean, and then what you do is let me see, a screwdriver would work better. Stick it on a screwdriver and heat it, because if you heat these things up, what it does is it rejuvenates it and it's able to compress again. Ooh, that's hot. So I'll just heat that up. There we go, red hot. Now I don't know if you noticed that, but the washer's actually thickened a wee bit, which means it'll compress again. Like that. So there you go, that's how to rejuvenate your copper washer on your sump plug. You don't have to keep going buying new washers all the time, unless it's got some really bad scrapes on it, but that's just like new now. So I'll go and put that on. So, there we go. The bolt back in. New washer. There we go, that's tight enough. And I'll go and get the, I can't remember what it takes, 3 litres, 2.8, something like that. I'll go and get the oil sorted out and then we can get it all back in again. Tell you one thing, I've not got a bloody steady hand. That's a 3rd litre in. That should be it. It says 2.8 litres if it's an oil and filter change. So I've put in 3. 0.2 of a litre isn't going to do any harm to this at all. So I'll put this on. We'll give it a wee start up. Just sounds good. Sounds good. I'll just let her run for another minute. Check her over. And see how she's behaving herself. looking good. So that's another day done. That's the FZ all sort of put back together. Just needing a good clean up. So yeah, so now that this is okay, not a drip, I'll get another tank for it. I'll get this monstrosity taken off the front, cut all that wiring up and redo it with just the single headlight of the newer FZ. Couple of panels to get. This one, the one with the handle snapped off, and it's all connected to this, I believe, all part of the one piece. So I'll probably have to get that whole bit and the side panel to match this one, maybe both of them. That's a bit scraped and cracked. Yeah, and then get the chain done, get it lubed, get it all adjusted and everything, and yeah. And then she'll be on the road. Can't wait to get on the road. I used to love my FZ. One of the best bikes on the road, I reckon. And with it being a Yamaha, reliable as hell. Anyway, that's it for me. And I'll catch you on the next one. See ya. Bye.